Dinosaur Man. Hello and welcome to the Dinosaur Man podcast. I'm Andy Hughes and I'm here with Alex Hudson.
Greetings.
And what's better for a podcast than content? And what's better as content than content that is created not by us? And that's why we bring to you today Paul Hudson.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm delighted that you came to us and said, I have an idea. And we went, perfect.
I mean, ultimately, I've got to get, I've not got to, but, I thought I'd help out and just give you some of that sweet, sweet content that we're always after.
That's all we want. Just feast ourselves on content until we are full little boys.
Can I just interject here and say something? Do not like the energy level we've come in with. Way too high.
But this guy, okay, you're balancing.
You're all like, hello, and hey, we're full little boys.
Hey, am I allowed to be...
And I'm sitting here going, I didn't know how to bring that kind of level of energy to the proceedings.
Look, things are exciting.
Things are exciting.
Yeah.
That is true. Things are exciting.
It's June.
It's summertime.
July even.
Yeah.
It's July. It's now July. Exciting. It's
not just when you said it though.
The sun is out.
A couple of days now.
Things are getting warm.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
There's no airflow in this room.
It's going to get stuffy, we know that.
Time to get sticky, boys.
Well, that's more like the content. It's time to get sticky, boys.
So...
Gross.
Obviously...
No, we're not sidestepping away from that link.
You're just going to ignore that?
The segue can't be... So, ignoring all the disgusting stuff you thought
The segue can always be so.
It shouldn't be. We shouldn't ever settle for bad segues.
In summertime.
That's why Ian Segway designed the perfect segues.
In summertime, there is an increased amount of spiders. One type of spider is a black widow.
Excellent segue. Excellent.
Next
segue.
week comes the film.
Let's go back to So. Let's go back
You wanted something different.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, fine.
Next week, there's a film called Black Widow coming out. In honour of that, Paul has come round. Maybe not for Black Widow itself, but...
He came round and he said, I'm here because Black Widow is out on Wednesday.
I came up with an idea to tie in with it. We always like a Dinosaur Man tie-in.
Well... the listeners do, and that's important.
You're loving life.
They're more work for us.
Not in this case.
Yeah, not in this case.
Not in this case.
In this case, less work.
Yeah, I mean, well, remains to be seen.
True.
We know what the content is.
I am going to put you through
We
your
actually
paces.
have to be active participants in this. It's not like the Blumhouse deep dive where I spouted information off for an hour and you sat there and went,
Hey, I'm very good at active listening is what I've learned. Like, all you have to do is go, oh, yeah.
And that's called a podcast. Okay, so Paul, what have you prepared for us in celebration of Black Widow's forthcoming release this week?
Well, okay, so, we're all fans of the MCU in varying degree on this pod, across the three of us. That is just a fact. And we're now, 12 years into the MCU. 13?
Some amount of time.
13
Lots of years in. And we're finally getting the first film of Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow. And by this point, we've had so many different MCU films in space, in different dimensions, in in the past, just for no reason sometimes. But ultimately, they all share a very, very strong MCU genetic material.
Okay.
The
like
films,
Spider-Man,
the
genetic material.
and like Sticky Boys,
Genetic material.
We went back to the well that no one wanted us to go back to.
The bucket is full as we mine this well.
Ooh, pumping up all that sticky water.
Now, also being an avid fan of the DMCU, the Dinosaur Man cinematic universe, I was trying to think what's PU, podcast universe.
Correct.
Yeah.
Podomatic.
I was thinking back
call it that.
the Podomatic universe.
Also, there's nothing more apt than the word PU when talking about this podcast.
I recall back to one of the classic Shocktober episodes where
The classic Shocktobers, guys.
where Alex devised a choose your own Nightmare on Elm Street adventure for
I
Andy.
listened back to that the other day fortuitously, completely separate to this conversation.
Yeah.
It's my best work ever.
It's not that far off.
A lot of fun.
Which means it's not that far off. If I'm declaring it my best work ever,
I actually
I
think
am my own harshest critic.
How you can stop it from following you maybe.
Yeah, I
your
put a
best
lot of
work
that on
ever,
Andy
so-
because he was already came up with that weird court
Yeah.
case thing. Ghost court. Dum dum.
So I decided, in the spirit of that,
Yes.
we're going to choose your own MCU adventure.
Oh, it's like a Goosebumps book, and I love it.
MC your own adventure. Oh, fuck me. No, that didn't work, obviously.
MC your own adventure might be the episode title.
Am I allowed?
I don't have those rights.
I mean, I
don't know why I'm
have those
suggesting.
powers. This episode is going to be called episode whatever the fuck number it is. Couple of sticky boys in a room.
Am I allowed, like I did when I was a kid and I read the Goosebumps Choose Your Own Adventures, to put my finger in certain pages so if I don't like the answer, I can go back?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you something
For-
now. You asked the exact same question on the other end.
Yeah. For the purposes of this, yes, because I feel quite proud of a lot of my my tree here,
Okay.
and it would be a shame if any of it ended up going unexplored.
The World Tree, like in 4.
I would also potentially
What is
argue.
this? I forgot everything about Thor.
I would also.
And I think the World Tree is the reason I forgot everything there is in Thor.
I think it's in Dark World.
Oh, God, even worse.
I'd
Sorry,
also
Paul,
potentially
yes, you
argue
continue.
with this one that if we're going for 45 to an hour, we will need to explore all of the options I put down, because a single avenue may not take up that
Why do you think
amount
we
of time.
put 8 minutes of chaff right at the top here?
What do you mean this is pure gold?
8 minutes of chaff could basically be the title of the podcast every week.
I feel like it's a good autobiography name in the future.
Okay, so what format does this take?
So-
are we choosing together? Are you concerned that it's got very dark?
Yeah, did
very
everyone else just
quickly?
notice it just went very
Yeah,
dark?
it did.
Damn
Do you want to
summer.
Did you want to turn a light on, or are you okay? Are you not afraid?
No,
Okay.
I'm brave boy.
Okay.
Well, in terms of how we can do it, I've done it in a way that
basically, are we teaming up to form the smallest Avengers possible? Two?
well, you
Are
typically
we Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
typically with Marvel films, you usually get your hero, and normally the beacon of all that's good, and then you get your amazing sidekick that can.
You are Ant-Man and I am T.I. Oh no! I don't want to be T.I. Fine, I'm... Who else is in it? Michael Pena?
Yeah.
David
Okay.
Dalchemy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's got a lot of sidekicks. For someone who is basically a sidekick, Ant-Man has a lot of sidekicks.
Bobby Cannavale. Cannavale.
I mean, he's just like a regular dude in that, right?
Yeah, but he's kind of.
I
Yeah,
suppose the
they're
rest
so-
are all
so-
regular dudes.
I mean, I don't think you can ever call Michael Pena a regular dude.
well, his special power is summarising.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, well, yeah. So because of having a main character and a sidekick, I thought we could, we could do it in the way that one of you takes on the main character role, one of you takes on the sidekick role, and then
Okay.
for the other decisions that you've got ahead of you, you can make those sort of as joint decisions, as it were,
Okay.
to see how the tree goes down.
Okay, cool.
So that's the way I'm going with it, and I have obviously I don't know which one.
I'll
of
be
you
the
is going-
sidekick because I'm the beta.
Okay, that is absolutely fine. So, from this point of view, I am going to, for the characters, we are going to choose by me going through a brief description of them, and then
Okay.
you can choose based on the description, and then we will go in. I'll go into who you are,
It's like a BuzzFeed quiz.
as it were. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
So-
salt and vinegar. Sorry, I was just in the BuzzFeed quiz of BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed, is that what it's called?
BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why aren't all their quizzes about food? Or light years?
Take that one.
Paul, please
Yeah.
continue.
Well, without further ado,
Why are
roll-
you putting that cork in my mouth?
the
Stop it!
lights go down, the the Marvel logo comes up. I don't know what colour it is this time because they change it every time at the moment. And for some reason I was thinking Jurassic Park theme tune, so I mean that's what I've
covered it with the actual. My one Star Wars, and your one Jurassic Park.
So,
in a Marvel film, in a Marvel film,
Dinosaur Man are in a Marvel film.
Okay. Well,
That's
not
what we
always that it's accompanied by live musicians, but this time it was weird cinema.
So we've got three options for our main character.
So the people come into this film not knowing what film they're seeing.
Well, we're about to tell them, aren't we?
We're crafting a story with words.
Then maybe they all have the the little remotes in
From
they've gotta choose.
Loki.
No, you know when
From Loki. We all remember they've got remotes in Loki.
you know the old school before when you went to the cinema back in the day, and they'd have like little quizzes before the film where it'd be like, oh, what film did friend star Matthew Perry star in 2005?
The Lazy Sunday one. Okay.
I exactly am thinking of that
Yeah.
one.
Okay. But they didn't have little pads that they answered on.
Yeah, but I feel like
You
Buzz
think-
the video game, you could get some of them
you
going
think-
on,
okay.
and you could choose your own adventure, and you could build it in front of you if you wanted, like Bandersnatch.
Yeah,
the Black
I can't
Mirror
remember
thing.
the name for it, but where you'd have like a load of people go in and they watch the film and then they put they press red or green whether they like what they see or they
Test
don't.
screen and stuff. Yeah. Why not? Let's make it that.
I actually did that for Transformers The Last Night, and the red button broke because I pressed it so hard. I got to the bit where they went to King Arthur and he turned out to be an android or something, and the red button was worn away so much that my thumb had red paint on it.
I'm trying to think what film did I go to and I came out and they had a survey outside of it. It might have even been like Endgame or Infinity War. Where I came out and they were like, here is a survey. Like there's people handing them out being like, I'll fill these out. And it was like the third time I've seen it. I was like, I'm happy to fill this out.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, you said you have options.
Let's do it. Right. So, first up, you could be someone who crashes into the desert after being shot down by Skrulls, and you're severely injured and presumed dead. Your brother comes looking for you and manages to find you, trapped in the lens of a pair of glasses. So, that's our first option.
Okay.
Wait, what? Wait, so hang on. It doesn't matter. Continue with the ideas and then I'll come back to any questions.
Second option. You were meant to replace Steve Rogers as Captain America, but popularity issues and questions about your mental state instead meant you got given a different hero name.
Okay.
That's from the thing. I know that
Maybe
one.
it is.
Oh, these are real.
Yeah. These are all real.
Okay, what's the third one?
The third one is once was asked to capture Namor, so you devised an aquatic suit to use. However, you turned out to like Namor, and so you let him go and just sort of started swimming around. Those are your three options.
Oh, wow.
Namor's so cool.
Namor is cool.
He's a hunk.
He is.
Who's playing him?
Who's playing Namor?
I mean, it's for the purpose of this argument, it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan because he's a hunk.
He is a hunk.
I don't like it anymore. I don't like that idea.
He's not in the film, to be fair.
So the first one is you land in a desert and
You get shot down by Skrulls and you land in a desert. Your brother comes to find you, but you're trapped in a pair of glasses.
Yeah.
What film is that? What
know.
MCU is this?
It's not MCU yet.
No, but the second one, I feel like,
You know that one.
is from
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Falcon Winter Soldier even.
Sorry, everyone. Don't cancel me online.
Okay,
You're alpha here.
Oh.
You make the decision.
who do I want to go for?
Is there one for select your sidekick?
Yeah, you're the sidekick.
Yeah.
You get a selection, yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't
The thing
know why I'm
is,
piping in then.
trapped in glasses sounds really exciting, but also Jeffrey Dean Morgan is Namor. Like, I feel I'm going to miss the second one because I think that I've seen that.
Okay.
So I'm going
Makes
to go for
sense.
first or third. We're going to start with... let's go for Sexy Namor.
Okay, that means you are Dr. Walter Newell, also known as Stingray.
Stingray.
Is this real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real Marvel. These are all of the characters that you will be choosing from are all real Marvel characters.
Okay, maybe we go through it, and at the end we'll find out what the other options are. Yeah.
Is that if that's how you want to do it?
Or
I'm
do you-
happy to go
Oh,
through.
yeah, let's
I'm
go
happy
through
to
Do you want to go
recap.
through?
No, let's go through it, and then at the end,
see
we can
who
then go
else
back
you
and
could
say,
have had.
See what you could have won.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so the very little bio I've got is in that description, basically. But I do have a bit more. Basically, you were an experienced oceanographer, and you were hired to track down Namor, and so you built this incredible suit. It's an Iron Man type thing,
Nice.
but for underwater travel.
The good thing is I know nothing really about Stingray.
Yeah, well, I don't think anyone does, because most of these characters came from a Google of most obscure Marvel characters in comic history. And
James Gunn is now making a film about all of them together.
honestly, I would not be surprised to see a couple of these pop up in a Guardians film. Some of the options I've got, but so this amazing suit you've got, it looks pretty cool actually. I'll give them that. It gives you superhuman strength while you're in it. You know, it means you can swim really good, but also you can fire electrical bolts out of it as well.
That's all I've ever wanted.
Hence the Stingray. You know, it all makes sense.
Electricity underwater is very dangerous.
Genuinely, one of your superhero abilities was listed down as very intelligent. So you've got that at your disposal too.
That's a good superpower.
So now that we've got our main character of the film established, so that's what film we're seeing then, I guess, Stingray. Not to be confused with any of the puppet-based things that used to happen, but I'm sure it'll be as successful. So, Alex, we're onto your character. So, we've got a few options here. Were you, once brainwashed to hate all men, and then you got affected by radiation that reversed that and gave you superhuman abilities similar to the super soldier serum? Or 2, a troubled child who ran away from an abusive home only to be abducted and experimented on by Roxxon Corporation. There, you met a wrestler called Pound Cakes and joined her before deciding her powers. Before deciding your powers were better used to help others. Or 3, a wrestler who created... There might have been a bit of a theme here. I didn't mean for this, but a wrestler who created your costume out of offcuts of Daredevil and Wolverine's costumes to the point where you've got DD on your chest. And you received super strength from the power broker, but at the cost of developing an unstable drug addiction and heart problems.
Okay. Now, I tell you things that I know. I know the power broker is from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I can't remember who it turned out being. Oh no, I remember.
Yeah.
I didn't like that bit.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm scrapping that because
Okay.
I feel like I don't want to be a wrestler. However,
Are you sure
I
you
kind of
don't?
want to be Pound Cakes.
I was going to say, are you
Is
sure you
she
don't
on
want
the table? Can I be her?
Unfortunately not. She didn't have any powers herself, so...
And the first guy, what's his deal?
you were once brainwashed to hate all men. It is a woman.
Okay.
And
Sexist of me to assume it was a man.
you got
apologise.
affected by radiation that reversed that, and gave you superhuman abilities similar to the super
But
serum.
now I love all men.
Not love all men, but you don't hate all men. You're no longer brainwashed because the radiation cured that.
But I don't
somehow.
hate any men?
I don't know. I didn't get that
You
far
can hate
into
as many
the,
men as you want.
In fact,
I do hate all of them. They're the worst.
I'll be honest, there wasn't that much of their biography on the internet to actually find much more information than that.
Look, I feel like I've got to go number 2 because at least then I get to interact with Pound Cakes.
Fantastic. That means you are Melissa Joan Gold, the superhero known as Songbird.
Do you know this one?
I know Songbird. Yeah.
You have supersonic speed, flight, you can do sound blasts, which I assume is like energy blast with the sound, you know, like the one out of X-Men First Class can do. But also you can create solid objects out of sound, which is
kind of like a 3D printer.
kind of like a Green Lantern type deal, but you just like shout, I guess.
It's one of the dumbest superheroes I've ever heard about. I can tell why it's the most obscure.
Look, I mean, the power... You pick the one with the most interesting powers out of the three, because the other two are basically super strength.
Okay.
So, that's all right.
I mean, your powers are more interesting than mine. I can swim well.
Yeah, but you're smart and a doctor and also an oceanographer. And you've got electricity that works underwater. I still don't understand how that can work, but...
Magic.
Okay, anyway, continue.
So, now we get on to our choices for the main villain of the film.
Ooh.
Now, we've got 4 here.
Okay.
And obviously it's going to be, the two of you can decide between you which ones to go for. So, first up, we have a former Conservative Prime Minister who was elected on a strong anti-superhuman platform. Once the election was won, it was revealed that he was an Omega-level mutant. For you, Alex, Omega-level mutant is the
best.
Top 0.5%.
I always said that about John Major.
Second up, we've got the singer of a band called Mercy Killers, who would use his powers to help advance his career and to steal from the venues where his band played.
Sound versus sound.
Interesting. Third up, an accomplished motorcycle rider and co-owner of Johnny Blazer's stunt company.
I know this guy.
Disfigured in a motorcycle crash, he's been given a magic helmet in the shape of a big eye. He would later go on to partner with Justin Hammer. I just wanted to add that bit in because I like Justin Hammer.
I've seen a picture of this guy. He's like an eyeball head.
That is him. Yeah, there is an eyeball head man.
Okay.
So this is who we
Who's
got
your
going
nemesis? Also, are you going to be useless against these guys? You're water-based.
He in the suit. He's still got superhuman strength, and he can still do the
I would
electric
bring him into
blast.
the water.
And we could make it, could make it leisure centre based location
make a fish out of sound.
Okay, and then
there's a fourth one. The sole survivor of a traffic collision between a bus full of people he loved and a truck containing a vat of chemicals. He then decides
everyone he loved be on one bus.
He then decides there is no rationality in life left and sets out to prove it to everyone.
Okay.
He feels like he's a joker.
I read his entire bio and he reads as if he is the
His name is Arthur Fleck. What?
So I have a feeling which one we should choose.
Okay.
Because it fits into the podcast history, which is there a possibility that number 1 is Zombie Thatcher?
It's not Zombie Thatcher. However, he's got an equally impressive name, I would say.
Because I feel we've railed against the idea that, Zombie Thatcher...
She kind of is our nemesis.
She'll come back. That seems like the most likely to fit into our biography.
Even though it isn't Zombie Thatcher, we can think in our heads that we're battling Zombie Thatcher, and that'll give us the motivation to win.
100%.
Okay.
Go with number 1.
Number 1. Congratulations, you've selected Sir James Jaspers, a.k.a. Mad Jim Jaspers. His power set is that he has vast reality warping powers, hence winning the election on an anti-superhuman stance because he just convinced everyone of the other thing. So
sounds like Boris Johnson to me. That's good satire.
Is this our most political episode yet?
No one thought that coming into a couple of sticky boys in a room.
So once he was in charge of the UK, he sort of took over, and the X-Men had to rally against him and fight him. But I guess in this case,
the X-Men didn't because they
Stingray and Songbird, the SAS, got it going on. Right. So we've got our characters established.
Okay, we're going to take them down.
Easy.
Now,
just got to get them on a boat.
I imagine it will take maybe 3 acts to do it, but I think it will happen.
Okay, so now that we've got our characters together, we've got our absolute first question, which is this an origin story, or is this one of the MCU films where it shows them as already a hero and they're just getting on with things, but you get introduced to them through this? Now, hint, can you choose the one where you're already a hero?
Yeah, I feel like origin stories are overdone anyway.
Okay, great.
We want to see Stingray like starting punching a fish.
Yeah.
Great, because now that means we've got a montage of fighting crime.
Yes.
Before it skips back to a flashback and we go to the origin story side. So we have 3 options for your origin. Did you get inspired by seeing other heroes out there and decide to fight crime yourself?
Okay.
Did one of your family members get involved in a near fatal attack by a criminal, inspiring you to fight crime? Or did Samuel L. Jackson turn up to inspire you to fight crime?
Okay. For me, I have an option that I think suits basically, in my head, what my entire film is. Like, I'm thinking Samuel L. Jackson because, in my head, Stingray's film is just Deep Blue Sea.
Okay. Yeah, you're Thomas Jane.
Yeah. Like, I'm Thomas Jane in a suit.
Fucking BLO Cool J.
The best member of that cast.
You said the character was a chef.
And he has a bird, yes, that was killed by a
Yeah,
shark.
And he sings the theme song.
He was an oceanographer who, in his spare time, was a professional chef at a Michelin star restaurant.
And then got put onto an underground deep sea adventure. And also said that his head was like a shark's fin. Okay, cool.
So Samuel L. Jackson, please.
Okay, fantastic. That gives us 2 options for what happens next.
Ooh.
Remember when I did this and all I had was one option in my head all the time and all I was doing was giving you a like, I didn't go into like, oh, here's the possible branches you can go into. I was like, well, he's going to do one thing and it's just a case of who he is while he does it. That's the only thing he really
Yeah, but was yours based on the psychology of knowing me?
A lot of the time,
Like,
yeah.
I know he's
so.
going to be an idiot.
Right, so Andy, now that you've that Samuel L. Jackson has turned up to inspire you to fight crime, are you A, suddenly at your place of drinking alone and you meet a friend who happens to turn out to be a hero and becomes your sidekick? Songbird over here.
Okay.
After being operated on or whatever I was.
Or
I think I was operated on.
B, are you suddenly at your place of exercise and you meet a friend who actually happens to turn out to be a superhero and becomes your sidekick? Songbird over
On
here.
your left.
Okay, easy answer. What's another word for a place where you regularly drink? Your watering hole. I'm Stingray. We're going to be at the pub.
Also, the pub is the ocean.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a little dinghy. It's one of those that like, it's like, oh, aren't we kooky?
It's a bar on a
We're
floating...
bar on a barge.
It's
Aren't
like
we
the
kooky?
little ones you get in the Amsterdam canals where they just go
Yeah.
around serving you drinks.
It's overpriced. It's run by hipsters, but I've been drinking there for years before it got took over, and it's the only place I know. They've never asked me for ID. I'm 40, but they still don't.
Yeah, I was going to say you're a doctor. Like, if they were asking you for ID, that would be very strange.
Fantastic. I think this makes a lot of sense because it especially if it's the sort of watering hole where you go to sort of drown your sorrows, then it makes sense
But
that Songbird,
obviously-
having been operated on by all of this horrible stuff, is also there. So yeah,
Obviously, as we all know, I can't drown because water doesn't affect me.
obviously.
I don't even know if that's a power, but
Only while you're in your suit, but you know,
He's
otherwise
always
you are
in
just a
suit.
man, basically.
he operates on people in his suit.
You're basically the Batman of the sea.
Worst things to be.
Incredible. Worst things happen at sea.
Now, we know there is only one thing that can happen next from here,
Okay.
and that is that the supervillain arrives on the scene.
Oh
With a
no.
very public threat to society. So I guess in the case, because we've gone with Mad Jim Jaspers, I guess it will be that he's become Prime Minister, and suddenly, I don't know, he makes it illegal to be a superhero, and then you guys get shipped over to the UK because for some reason, bafflingly, you are the most qualified to take him on.
Maybe they're like, oh, we are banning riverboat tours, and we're like, we can't have that. Riverboats are how we make our money.
Yeah. It's like fox hunting.
Yeah.
Ban that. What's next? Riverboats? This country sickens me. This country. I want my Britain back.
Give me my riverboat tours.
Maybe I'll replace Jasper's.
Maybe.
One of your powers was actually listed as siren song. Actually, that's so you've got a bit of like hypnosis maybe going on. So
Ooh.
And of course, the sirens were famously introduced in Jason and the Argonauts. So there's another sea-related theme there.
okay,
So we're in England.
so you're in England.
Bloody
Now,
old England!
Oh, bloody hell, mate. What?
Oh, Britannia! That plays over the scene change.
Governor, that man's in the Thames. I'm just swimming my way through, ladies and gentlemen.
Can I fly, did you say?
yeah, you can fly, and you can swim really fast. You could just
Like a river bird. Like a heron.
Air and sea covered. Land were terrible.
I bring a cow with me everywhere I go.
Land, the one place prime ministers reside.
You have to go up through the toilet, and I have to go in through the skylight. I hope there is an entrance strategy, because we've already covered it.
Maybe he can be on like Sea Force 1, and it's like 10 Downing Street on a boat.
I'm delivered in a fish tank. Like a Trojan horse.
Yeah, it's a perfect Trojan horse, except it's see-through. Yeah, there's clearly a guy in there. Oh, how could you tell? Because I can see the guy.
Oh. So now that we're all set up,
Yeah.
3 things could happen. Do you have a small scrap with the supervillain, and they beat you easily, mocking you as they do it, and you wee your pants a little bit?
Okay.
Or the supervillain has a personal connection to you that you sort of reminisce on. Something like they killed your favourite Chinese takeaway chef.
Hello, Cool J.
Or you whine about having to do everything yourself while your designated S.H.I.E.L.D. agent takes down an entire complex of bad guys without being given a single line of dialogue.
Okay. I'm thinking, and obviously tell me what your opinion is here. I'm thinking maybe we lose, because I think that's good kind of
Yeah.
character
It needs to
building.
show that we're not invincible.
We get beaten on land. Our true weakness.
Our only weakness.
Like, you have to drop from the sky, and he's like, haha, now you're on my territory.
70% of the Earth is water.
And you fought me in the remaining 30. God damn you.
Oh, okay, so if that's what's happening, then we get on to, he's beating you, he's mocking you, and so he's revealing his motivations at the time.
Ooh.
Now, we've got 3 options for the villain's motivations. Is the villain motivated by shiny objects?
Okay, money.
Magpie.
Well, I was thinking more like infinity gems, or...
Oh, okay.
A magpie.
Is the villain motivated by living in his big brother's shadow?
No
Or-
Gallagher.
Is the villain motivated by hating Tony Stark?
No Gallagher.
What do you think?
Is he musicmagpie.com?
Yeah.
Or is he
No Gallagher.
No Gallagher? No, Noel's the good one. Isn't he? I don't know. Look, I think he doesn't hate Tony Stark. We've already seen that so many times in the MCU.
Yeah, which is why I wouldn't be surprised
We
to
want to
see
do
it
something
again.
fresh.
Yeah.
Although the shiny things, obviously Thanos was kind of that. Well, he wasn't motivated by them. He was motivated by wanting to destroy half of the planet.
But this one, the single film, so it's like Ronan in Guardians, right? Is motivated by getting 1 infinity gem.
Is that what's going on with him?
Yeah.
Okay. He had like a little ink stain down his chin.
He did, yeah.
Obviously, this guy hasn't, because press would ruin him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw
Yeah.
what happened when somebody
Look what
tries to eat a
happened to
bacon
Millerman.
sandwich.
Yeah. Okay.
Although, shiny things, money, fits perfectly with the political aspect.
Yeah. Only I left it at shiny objects because I figured that was enough of like a
Yes,
Marvel
he wants as
MacGuffin.
many pound coins as he can fit into his pocket.
Like those new kind of really shiny ones.
Is there a new one?
Or like, when they're like newly minted.
Oh, okay. And he'd have access because he's the Prime Minister.
Oh my god.
To the Royal Mint.
And he just sits there and like, it's
That's
just
my
like,
Batman scene change.
he's just firing out pound coins. He's like, yes, more.
You climbing out the Royal
Oh.
Mint's toilet. Okay, Royal
That
Mint.
makes sense then.
Yes.
I think he's
Shiny
motivated
objects.
by pound coins.
He wants to take over the Royal Mint.
Yeah. Okay.
Fort Knox
So-
of Mint.
Now, is the time in the film where you'll get into a big fight with the villain. You know, you're not your final fight, but a big fight in the film.
Mm-hmm.
So, 3 things could happen during this fight. 1, they destroy your costume, but you fight them off enough to give you time to retreat, and you go and build a new costume. Makes more sense now that you've picked the one that's got the actual Iron Man-esque suit as well.
And
Yeah,
also,
imagine if you chose one who was naked.
also means 2 toys can be sold by the toy companies.
Exactly, 2 different editions. We've got
3.
a sweet.
3. First, original suit.
Mm-hmm.
3rd, skipping ahead, new suit. 2nd, battle damage suit.
Battle.
Yeah.
Is there anything better than a battle damage toy?
Okay, what are the other options?
The other options are the 2. The villain uses a MacGuffin to get away. Or
An Egg McMuffin.
3. You're about to beat the villain when your sidekick is in jeopardy and you have to go save them.
I'd never be in jeopardy.
I mean, based on your power set, I don't think you would be.
No, I think you are definitely the most competent of the 2 of
Okay,
us.
arguably, you're about to beat the villain when your main character is in jeopardy and you have to go save them.
Okay, so
Oh
what do you
no,
wanna
I
do?
gotta!
Do you want to go merchandising with the suits, or do you want to go with Egg McMuffin?
I feel, business-wise, Marvel would want you to go for the suits.
100%.
Because they want, like you said,
But what's best for the
damaged.
story?
Like,
But business-wise, it's good if he beats us with an Egg McMuffin. Then that's a good tie-in with McDonald's. And we go, looks like it was a McMuffin. And then you go, I think you mean McGuffin. And I go, I know what I said. And then I take a bite of a McMuffin. And I go, nummy, nummy, in my tummy.
I don't know, I feel that's too on the nose.
And then you're just snacking on a hash brown.
Just like eating it like a hamster would.
So that you've got the logo in there as well.
Like the McDonald's logo is stamped on the hash brown.
I'm wearing a McDonald's when it happens. And you've climbed out of the McDonald's toilet. You go, really clean in there. Like, surprisingly clean. Not a fleck of shit in sight. And I know, I live in the water. Okay, so what do you want to go with?
We're going costume.
I feel costume seems like
That
seems
makes
the
more
right
sense.
Costume.
answer.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Like
Feels like a bad branding opportunity missed by not doing the McMuffin thing, but
So
we can always rectify that in episode 2 of this.
So while you're having your time off to rebuild your costume, etc., this is where the motivational speech comes in. So, who is the motivational speach?
Jordan
from?
Belfort.
Is it 1, your sidekick over here?
Hello.
2, your mum? 3,
Family.
Samuel L. Jackson?
I think it has to come from you.
Yeah, I mean,
Because-
look, Samuel L. Jackson makes sense in terms of he recruited you,
Yeah.
but at the same time, and he gave a motivational speech in Deep Blue Sea. But
It's the exact same one.
canonically, he's dead now, maybe?
In Deep Blue Sea, yes.
Yeah, and he was playing Nick Fury in Deep Blue Sea, as we all know. So, sidekick.
My mom is a sea monkey, so she can't give me a speech.
Okay,
So I think it has to come from you.
I go,
Sidekick.
oh,
Like,
it's bad that we were beaten, but we're going to come back stronger because you've made your suit stronger because you discovered a stronger metal because you're so clever.
I'm just there like, God damn suit can't go on land. Why would they send me to do a land
I actually put
job?
feet on your suit this time. You didn't have feet
It's
on
just
it.
a fins
And they're just
before.
crying into like the wetsuit.
Yeah, you had like a tail.
Like I'm sitting in like just pure Y fronts, just holding a wetsuit, just sobbing, just like, oh, you're never gonna be a Namor. And you have to talk me round. What do you say?
So you want to be a Namor?
I want to be a good fish man.
Is Namor not?
I'm an embarrassment. I'm an embarrassment to all
okay.
sea-based heroes.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. We're going with that.
So
I'll
give
deliver the speech.
Okay. So we've got the motivational speech going on from Songbird.
Do you have a speech written, or do you go
I
on to the
don't
next?
have a speech
So this
written.
is your moment.
So this is the moment that you can either
I just did it
improvise
for you,
or-
basically.
Do it now.
Don't worry, we got beaten, but you know what? You've built this thing out of metal this time, rather than just being a wetsuit. I feel like that's going to beat him.
I'm just gonna rust.
He seems quite easily beatable. Because, number one, he's really conservative. They're losing seats all the time, mate. I mean, they're not. That's like, is the problem. What else would I say?
Good.
Remember what your mother, the
Genial.
sea monkey, said to you when you were a child?
What did she say?
Swim, my boy, swim.
Is that
Mum?
one of Willem Dafoe's lines in Aquaman?
I mean,
I
maybe.
feel like it might.
Mother, I can hear you now.
I'm here, the ghost of your mother.
We all know sea monkeys only have a lifespan of 2 months.
Yeah, really, it was me the whole time.
Oh no!
I imitated your dead mother.
Thank you. It's exactly what I needed.
It's like Psycho, this is.
Perfect. That is a motivational
Tension,
speech
the
suited with
likes
the
of which
MCU.
Hitchcock would be proud of.
That's a poster quote, isn't it? Stingray. It's like Hitchcock had made it.
So this brings us on to the final fight with the big villain.
Oh, he's got it coming to him this time. I can walk on
Can I
land.
just take a quick straw poll here?
Yeah.
Hitchcock or Hancock? Who you got in a fight?
Well, if I'm going hand to hand with them.
Hitchcock, surely.
No, if they're going hand to hand against each other.
Oh, you mean
Alfred or
Matt Hancock, former
no,
Home Secretary.
no.
Will Smith?
Will Smith Hancock. But start of the movie when he's a real piece of shit. I mean, he's kind of a piece of shit for most of that movie. Who are you taking?
Hitchcock.
I think so.
Drama, isn't it?
The jowls have it. I'd say the jowls have it.
They could take a punch.
Okay. Anyway.
Final fight.
So we're on to the final fight. So this is all about where the final fight is.
Oh.
Are we in
Is there a landmark?
Ocean.
a city centre block?
There could be a landmark.
Could be a landmark.
There could be a fountain.
Remember how in London there are city blocks?
Is it in some weird other dimension as an absolute CGI fest?
I feel like we haven't mentioned
Because he
that
is
yet in the
reality
film.
warping as well. Bear that in mind when your decision comes into it. So,
Water dimension.
or
By-election.
is it on a big flying thing?
Terrible for me.
Big flying thing would be
Flying
terrible
thing,
for
good
you.
for me. What's the first one?
The first one was a city centre block. Of some
Also
kind.
terrible for us.
Okay.
We've got to go with the alternate dimension.
But think about it this way, right? We go alternative dimension.
We don't get to choose,
When
by
he-
the way.
when-
Surely
yeah.
he's the one who chooses.
But when he beats us, if I'm just like, I will never go to sea again, and he's like, aha, you're at sea now
Why would you never want to go to sea again?
because it's
a
a trick.
ruse.
And I'm like, huh? You brought me to the one place. I'm the most powerful being in the universe.
How dumb is this guy?
Very.
Almost as dumb as I was for asking why you would say that. Okay, yeah, let's go for
We're going
that.
for the CGI fest.
Yeah, CGI sea, and he's like, and he's there like, let me remind you of the sin.
My
of the
dolphin army! Yeah, okay. This works.
Okay, perfect. So we're in some weird other dimension that he's warped you into, and all sorts of
We're
stuff can be
campaigning for
happening.
the Conservatives.
So
The ultimate terror.
this one's all about how the fight goes, and
I
is the
hope
villain
well.
about to beat both of you? And then they have a long, suspenseful villain speech, and as they do, something in the background collapses and debris crushes them.
Oh my god, we're not responsible for the death of it.
Or does the villain seem absolutely terrible at fighting and is actually very easily beaten when you're actually in that final sequence?
Like Matt Hancock.
Or is the villain about to kill you when your sidekick saves you at the last minute and then the villain gets sent to the raft?
I mean, I would love the raft because it's in the middle of the sea.
You know you'd love more if the raft wasn't there. Just sea.
Exactly. The raft's taking up important sea space. Okay, so
You've invaded my ocean.
I think the way I see him is he is like a Mephisto, and he's creating all these kind of like this imagery and stuff. And he's like, oh look, we're in the House of Commons and stuff, and like
Yes.
and like he's there and he's got like
But the House of Commons is flooded?
but then he's
What?
got like the wave of blue seats like come in, and I'm like, as soon as he
And you
creates
go,
waves,
hey, that looks a bit like water.
and he's like, what? And then he starts thinking about water, like no one's
yes.
when he needs a wee, and you're like, then you think
Yes.
of a waterfall,
Yeah.
So hang on.
and you can
So is this option 2?
put
Or
on,
is this option what?
you've got a skill, haven't you, to create things as well.
Create solid objects out of sound.
MPs.
And And he's there trying to war.
Here is a Corbin I've made with my mouth.
I don't know what option this is, but is this like number 2 maybe?
I
guess so.
I think
because he'd be bad at it.
Because you're in his domain.
Because you
but you're
realise that
still
anytime you
kicking
say
in.
something, he then thinks of it and he creates it. And then he sees the Corbin and he creates a million Corbins. Defeated by an army of Corbins.
Because I think it's either that or definitely, like, I don't think I win this.
No, but it's fun. It's fun if he defeats himself by,
Something falling on him.
Well, no, because what I mean is like he would defeat himself by thinking up a Corbin.
Oh yeah.
What was option 2 again?
Option 2 was kind of seemed absolutely terrible at fighting and is very easily beaten. I guess we can adapt that one to this because he's in his
and then
realm,
finish
but
it
still
off with,
losing.
like, one swift punch to the nose.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's why they bring in Stingray.
And then you go take him to the raft where it's taking up. Wait, hang on, that's mixing 2 options.
Yeah.
Still taking.
So where would they take him?
I think in this case he might get like sort of lost in his CGI dimension of himself. He might warp himself at this point.
Pretty cool.
So,
okay, let's take that option.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic.
Option 2.
That brings us to the credits of the film. But we all know that's not where
the film ends.
That's not where the MCU adventure
ends. The film ends in the car on the way back home when you're talking about it with your family and they say, why do you take us to that fucking film, you fucking loser? I want a divorce. Oh no!
Why couldn't
Barbara, why?
Why couldn't he go on land? He's a man. Men can go on land.
He still had feet. It's just he had a suit that he'd made a flipper out of.
Why was he so determined just to stay in the water?
Was that a really bad Marvel movie? Did they make some really stupid decisions?
Why was he the hero?
Why did she say, I've made a Corbin with my mouth?
So,
okay.
We've got a few different post-credit scenes that we've got ready to slot.
Post-credits or mid-credits?
Mid-credits, I guess. That we've got ready to slot.
Post-credits is the funny one. I've got something for the funny one at the end.
Kevin Feige has gone, these are the 3 scenes we've got. Which one are we putting in? So, first up, has the sidekick been hypnotized? I guess in this case, had your reality warped, and then you see them plotting an attack on the main hero.
I'd never betray you.
Or is there a CGI ball bag in space talking about how the villain can't do anything, and that they're going to have to do it themselves?
Strong history of that.
Or is Samuel L. Jackson looking at a file full of your details and then he calls you a mother, and then it cuts?
Oh my god, what's he found in your file that would make him call you a mother? Your secret child.
He found out my mum wasn't a sea monkey all along and I was adopted.
Mother! He found a copy of the Darren Aronofsky movie.
Mother!
He's saying it with the exclamation mark that's stylized with. Mother!
Why has he got this in his file? Who put this Mother DVD in here? I think that because subvert expectations.
The Mother DVD.
I think it should give absolutely no teasers about the next movie in the franchise. It should give you a little bit of publicity for a film that is divisive at the best of times.
It's also one of those ones that if you pause it and you enhance the picture, you can see a picture of Stingray eating some sushi in the background, but looking nervously at the camera.
And Mephisto might be there.
Oh yeah,
Mephisto's everywhere,
he's
guys.
Been by Mephisto.
We know Mephisto's the villain in every MCU thing now. Okay, so we're gonna go with Mother. Good joke.
Okay, fantastic. So there we go. That's it.
And you said you had a little funny one for the end.
Yeah, at the end is me, and I go, and the winner of the general election is Jeremy Corbyn. And then he comes up to the stage, and I go, not really, guys. You still got the Tories in charge. And then I fly off into the distance, and I go, I made it with my mouth.
And then I run in with a sign that just says "slippery when wet," and I'm like, "Hey, can I keep this?"
Wow, your favourite Bon Jovi album? Oh no!
Oh,
Stingray, what a film!
Fantastic film. That's us at the end of our adventure. But
if you were to tell me, okay, 3 MCU movies coming out this year. Black Widow, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and Stingray.
Yeah.
I'd see the other 2 movies first, obviously.
What?
You know, they haven't had these 2 idiots in charge of making the decisions as to how the story ends. But I'd probably still be interested in seeing Stingray. As soon as someone told me there's a funny post-credit scene, and there's a funny mid-credit scene, and in fact, it feels like they didn't take any of it seriously, and it's just like a funny film.
I got one final question.
Okay.
Right? So, the trailer for this film, obviously, has to have a slowed down pop song over it.
Okay, yeah.
What would you choose?
Marvel do that?
No, but I imagine this was one they just go, yeah, just fucking do it.
Right.
Okay.
You've got a few options.
Oh, okay.
Why
You weren't
not?
even expecting this
No,
question
but
already. You've loaded up something in the chamber.
I think that could be a trailer that's sort of like poised around the villain, and it's got Bad Guy by Billie Eilish slowed down over it.
It's so clever.
First of all. So, and then it's your character saying "duh" because you're really smart, and you're going, "You're stupid."
There's obviously going to be a line in this film where he says "duh."
Yeah,
Yeah, you're teaching a class of students and they're not getting it. And you go, what if we were to simplify it down to your brain level?
And, then
they take that duh.
So why are you sat in a swimming pool?
It's my splash pad.
Then we have TikTok by Kesha. Bringing that back, we
money.
capitalise on that TikTok money without really actually having to pay them that money. You know, bonus there. Or Single Ladies by Beyonce.
Okay.
Because I'm a lady.
You are a lady.
My thought was a Wet, Wet, Wet song. Treating Matter Deeply isn't Wet, 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 is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
No, wait, hang on. Wet. Truly Madly Deeply is Savage Garden.
Is that the I want to stand with you on a mountain?
Yeah.
I want to say
Wet is I feel it in my fingers, I feel it in my toes. Love is all around me, it's everywhere I go.
What about if that was slowed down?
I counter that with LL Cool J's shark fin stuff from... Oh, no. Clearly, this is the answer. It's the theme tune to Jerry Anderson's Stingray, slowed down.
Yeah, perfect. Done.
Stingray.
No one knows if that's the actual...
Well, it's not how it sounds in the thing, because obviously it's Stingray, da-da-da-da-da, Stingray, da-da-da-da, Stingray, da-da-da, Stingray, da-da-da, Stingray.
Obviously it's just...
But then, of course, in the post-credits, it's Marina, isn't it? Marina, you gotta see her. No, I combined 2 different songs there, but there is...
That was a joke for literally one person out there.
The end credits of Stingray were Marina. Marina?
So lost.
They were his... She
I
was his
am incredibly
girlfriend,
lost.
I think. Anyway.
Should we look at the other characters you could
Yes, here's some options what could have happened.
So,
who are the other characters?
I mean, ultimately, we've been through most... I have to say, the point of the whole tree, in terms of the plot, was that no matter what option you picked, it all goes the same anyway. Okay. So we've covered everything
like
there.
Marvel. You follow the formula. I just realised this is an allegory for following formulas.
So, who could have we been?
If you had gone for your Andy, if you had gone for your first option of crashing in the desert after being shot down by Skrulls and being severely injured and presumed dead, your brother would have come looking for you and managed to find you trapped in the lens of a pair of glasses. Mm-hmm. That would have made you both Charles and Hal Chandler.
Ooh.
Also known as 3D Man.
I have never heard of this guy.
Basically, he finds this pair of glasses and he's trapped in there, but he's still alive and he's trapped on the actual glass. Mm-hmm. And his I don't even know which one of them is trapped and which one of them isn't, but it's one of each. And then the brother, with a lot of concentration, can make him into a 3D projection out of the glasses that has tripled strength, speed, and durability.
Oh my god. The 3Ds.
Whoever Stan Lee stole this idea from was doing a lot of coke at the time. This is mad shit.
And the other one was...
and the other one, you would have thought it would be US Agent because we've just seen it. No, it turns out there's about 5 other characters that all have the exact same story.
Is one of them...
This is Nomad.
Yes. And also, is it... Nomad's not the one who has the shield tattooed on his face, is it?
No, he's not.
Nomad is basically...
Nomad's one without, like, he doesn't have a...
Isn't he the one that apparently Captain America technically was?
After Civil War or something,
because like Captain America without the title.
What they did was they created him for that storyline, and then they reused him, and he became a different superhero.
Is it Nuke? Is Nuke the one with the...
Yes, I think it was something like that. There was a few different ones I was looking at. But this guy's a guy called Jack Monroe, and surprise, surprise, his powers are super soldier serum.
Wow. I'm glad we didn't pick him.
The 3D man or Stingray is who I wanted you to pick, so I'm glad you went with one of them. I think 3D man is absolutely baffling.
Yeah,
absolutely
I lost how that
batshit, to be fair. So that gets us onto our sidekick characters.
Yes.
You could have been brainwashed to hate all men and had that reversed by radiation that also gave you superhuman abilities similar to the super soldier serum. That would have made you Kathy Webster, aka Free Spirit. The costume is exactly what you would expect someone called Free Spirits to be wearing, as I assume a character.
A lot of hemp clothing.
Yeah, well, no, more like based on them being created by men in the 60s or 70s.
Oh, okay.
More like she's like dressed. She's basically like Wonder Woman, but her top is a American flag. That's essentially it.
Easy Rider.
So yeah, the powers.
That's probably another superhero they thought of that was quite sexist.
The powers that she has is just very similar to the super soldier serum powers, but given by radiation. So
I feel like so much of their stuff is super serum.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, a lot of it is. Because obviously, because they do it as like mutants have like the sort of mutant gene, don't they? And you have to otherwise get affected by something or other, don't you?
I think I'm going to start a petition. Get serums out of the MCU.
I think you guys did a pretty good job to avoid serums. I mean, you got kidnapped and forced it on you, so that doesn't really count. But, no. So our third option, the wrestler who created his costume out of offcuts of Daredevils and Wolverines.
I'm annoyed that Pound Cakes wasn't more of the story.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to get... I made sure Pound Cakes was in there in the description because I did think it was important to mention it.
It was absolutely important.
Yeah. But Pound Cakes can be the comic relief of the film.
Okay. Well, I kind of feel like the Conservative politician might be the comic relief because he's so shit.
So the third one was
Dennis Dunphy. He is now known as D-Man, but he used to be called Demolition Man.
Ooh.
So his powers are super strength. He used to be. He became at various points. He has been a sidekick to Sam Wilson and as Falcon and as Captain America and to Steve Rogers as Captain America at various points throughout comics. So
Wesley Snipes, Demolition Man.
But he's
good movie. Taco Bell win the fast food wars.
I have to say, this was the one character I researched out of all of this that was the most interesting.
Yeah.
Like, he actually had a really good backstory, and I got a little bit into it, and it was this whole thing. Genuinely, if they're going to carry on doing these TV shows, he wouldn't be a bad character for them to do one about, because he's got a lot of, his whole stories about, like, health problems getting in the way of him trying to actually fight crime and things like this. And that
but thanks to the American healthcare system, he dies in the first episode and gets replaced by Pound Cakes.
Now, for our villains, we did have Sir James Jaspers, aka Mad Jim Jaspers. The other ones we could have had, the singer of the band called Mercy Killers, who would use his powers to help advance his career and steal from the venue while his band plays.
Ozzy Osbourne.
That is Antoine Delsoin, sorry. His villain name is Hypno Hustler. He plays guitar. That's
King loser.
And his special guitar is what gives him his hypnosis powers.
Of course.
But don't worry, because also his boots have secret compartments where he stores knockout gas and knives. All genuinely part of the power set.
Why do we choose the Conservative? This guy's cool.
Not the Hypno Hustler.
Yeah. But this is where we can get to the accomplished motorcycle rider and co-owner of Johnny Blazer's stunt company, who was disfigured in a motorcycle crash and given a magic helmet in the shape of a big eye that hypnotizes people. That is Drake Shannon. His name is The Orb.
The Orb.
Yeah.
I thought it was Big Ball.
Later on, The Orb was then redone as a different character who was just a person who was born with a disfigurement where their whole head was in the shape of a giant eye and does not have a name, but is just known as The Orb.
Love it.
And he worked at a circus freak show. I really wanted either of them to be involved in the MCU.
Sounds like a Garth Ennis character.
But
because it's a character that hates superheroes.
And got disfigured at birth or whatever.
Like Garth Ennis is definitely... Like, I love Garth Ennis, but he definitely hates superheroes.
Yeah.
Like, look at The Boys. That is written as a thing of being like, oh, I don't like superheroes.
Yeah.
Although he did write Preacher, which is incredible. So.
But it's also a lot about people not liking superheroes.
Yeah.
So his power set is obviously that his helmet can hypnotise and shoot lasers out of it as well, apparently. So
I suppose the way to beat him is just to poke him in his face.
Well, that one's the one where it's actually just a helmet.
Ah.
So, the one that I wrote down in the end. So, hypothetically, just take his helmet off.
Yeah.
You know? There we go. Or decapitate him if you want to get brutal. But this isn't Warner Bros.
Decapitation.
You know, this is not the Snyder Cut. You can't have blood in this. Unless it's alien blood, then it
And
can
because
be.
blood will just attract the sharks.
Head is like a shark's fin. LL Cool J's finest work.
Then our final option
Yeah.
was the sole survivor of the traffic collision between a bus full of people he loved and a truck containing a vat of chemicals.
Yeah, look,
Bruce Willis in Unbreakable.
When he decided there is no rationality in life left and sets out to prove it to everyone. So this is a character called Madcap. His name is unknown. Now, his
His
costumes...
supervillain name is fucking dumb as shit.
His costume's actually pretty cool. It's like this suit that's a bit like... It looks a bit like Two-Facey kind of thing. Like it's, two sides to it. And his powers are that he's got super healing factor, only rivaled by Deadpool in Marvel. If you look him in the eye, he can induce insanity in you.
I mean, that's a pretty good power.
It is a pretty good power. So there's also a lot of things so he's also been an anti-hero at various points and stuff like that. And the stuff in where it turns out that him and Deadpool just often fight each other for fun because they like fighting each other.
Yeah, I feel like Nolan named Madcap.
Yeah,
like I feel like he's been in something.
Yeah, so I feel like he's popped up in something, a couple of things here and there. Here, out of all of the villains, the Orb and this one had the sort of most expansive information available. But yeah, the bit that really drew me to him was the fact that listed under his powers was he uses a toy soap gun to distract his victims. Now, I assume they mean like a water pistol, but like a bubble gun sort of thing.
No, I like to imagine he fires actual soap, which would have been terrible for us.
Yeah.
Because soap reacting with water, we're not going to see anything.
You would have been some slippy boys.
It's fine for me, I'm flying.
Yeah, how are you going to attack him when all you can see is bubbles below?
I got super mouth, so I could... that was basically my power.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
Gross. Madcap would have been good for the tie-in. Because
maybe he's sequel bait.
Yeah,
he's probably got the coolest costume.
Maybe the mid credits is just him like firing some soap onto some water and being like, "Well, Stingray, I guess it's left to me."
Yeah, and like Mad Cats were the ones who made the third-party video game controllers in the 90s and early 2000s.
What, so you're linking that in as well?
I think you could just make like a Mad Cats thing happen. It wouldn't be good, but you could do it.
We're gonna put that. Oh, he looks incredible.
So merchandise-wise, you got some options going on. You've got a few different styles.
He looks like the what man, the crooked man from
How to Kill House
2.
Oh,
okay. What? I can't say yes or no because I've not seen those films.
No, but I've showed you the clip of the crooked man because it's so fake.
Yeah, you think I committed that to memory?
Yeah, it's funny as hell.
Were there any other options we missed, or is that basically...
No, that's it. We've gone through all of them now. That is who you could have been. They are all genuine, real creations of the Marvel Comics brand, and all of them, I think, are slightly more deserving of Marvel films than some of the ones that we've seen so far.
They're interesting,
but I certainly think. To be honest, I think I'm glad that you went with Stingray, or I would have liked 3D Man as well, because 3D Man was just crazy when I was reading up about that. And I was hoping that you would have picked Hypno Hustler for the villain, just so that I could have said Hypno Hustler much earlier. I think that's a fantastic name, and the fact that one of his powers was his boots have a secret compartment for knockout gas and knives, I think is phenomenal. But yeah, so that's my plot your own. That's my Dinosaur Man does an MCU adventure film.
That was great. Thank you, Paul.
No problem.
Really, thank you.
No problem.
I had a lot of fun there, and I think we've created a film that no one wants to see.
No,
but would still gross $100 million.
Oh yeah, it would still be
top 10 of the year, gross wise,
because it has the Marvel name attached.
Mm-hmm.
But no, thank you, Paul. You've put in a lot of work there. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. It was a bit of fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing how much more I want to see this film than Black Widow next week. But to keep it all on topic,
who knows? There might be a post-credit Stingray.
Yeah. Look, they're talking about bringing Namor in Black Panther 2. Maybe if they bring Namor in and don't bring Stingray in, I riot.
We get that petition going now, guys.
Can I tell you an exclusive?
Yep.
I've been cast as Namor.
Oh, no.
They said they tried every hunk in Hollywood, but they all said no.
So they went for every funk.
So they went for a punk out of Hollywood. No, I'm not Namor, just for legal reasons.
No, that's Patrick Wilson's in the running, right?
Is he going to be it?
Because he's in
just because he's Orm. Basically.
Yeah.
What if they get Momoa to be Namor?
Incredible.
Dual role.
But no, thank you, Paul.
Yes, it was my pleasure.
Do you have anything that you wish to plug while you're here?
I don't, actually. No, I don't.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put a plug in the bath so Stingray can live there. Don't let the water run out.
No, I don't have anything to plug apart from maybe my Dinosaur Man DCU adventure.
Oh yes.
That might have to come round whenever there is a.
When's the next DC?
Oh, August.
I thought that was an episode that had already happened, and I was like, I've forgotten this entirely.
Yes,
the Suicide Squad's out this
summer.
Oh,
you got time to write.
Hey. Maybe we'll be doing you choose your own DC, and that will be interesting because you've got a few different tones that we can go down. It won't be quite so linear. It might have a few branches.
Guys, do you hear that? The sweet chimes of content ringing in the distance.
What's disappointing is it's free content, and we obviously love free content. But the Suicide Squad, I'd already had an idea for that one.
Oh, had you?
Yeah,
it's fine. We can,
but it's fine. I could potentially leave it until the Suicide Squad 2.
It's fine. We can throw a DC. Choose
also,
DC
there's going to be so many more DC films.
Also, my idea at the moment is basically limited to a title, and then I'll try and work out how that would work. But I think I know how.
Okay. Well, guys, that's exciting for you to see what happens coming up. The best way to find out is subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to them. Give us a follow on Twitter at DinosaurMan15. We're also on Twitch, Dinosaur Man Pod, or Dinosaur Man Podcast, pretty much anywhere you wish to search us. But tell your friends, and they can also listen to these amazing Choose Your Own Adventures that are going to be coming up. Thank you, Paul, as ever.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It is our pleasure. You did all the hard work, so we appreciate you a lot. We also appreciate Johnny News for doing the theme song. We appreciate you, Alex.
Hitchcock versus Snitchcock.
Okay, we don't appreciate Alex anymore.
Who wins?
But we appreciate every single person who listens to this podcast. We love you all. Until next time.
I mean, I think my money's on Snitchcock.
Dinosaur.